We got a few more questions that we should hit here. Tony Flowers from adfreeshows.com says the WWF dropped the vocational characters by this point, but it was still gimmick heavy in the company at the time. You had pimps, bikers, porn stars, etc. If you had to pick someone else's gimmick that would then become your gimmick back in 1999, what gimmick would you choose?
Oh,
That's
geez,
interesting.
Well, hell, what are you talking about? I'll take the raising hell beer drinker, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Win, champion,
Make the most money. Yeah, come on, no brainer.
That is a little thought provoking.
Yeah, if money wasn't a thing, like, you're still going to be you're going to wrestle the same guys, you're going to be in the same slot. It doesn't affect your push, doesn't affect your money. You're just portraying a different character. Is there another character that would have been fun for you?
I will say this, we didn't get to see it play out, but I really believe with the right patience and storytelling, the juxtapose of the blue blazer, Conrad, of the superhero, but he's fighting what the Attitude Era stands for, played out with the right set of circumstances and who's under that mask and what they're fighting for. If they would have got behind it, you could have gotten that character as a heel red hot because the people wanted. That's why the puppies got over. That's why Val Venis got over. That's why Sable got over. That's why, I mean, at the end of the day, DX was DX. And, as they're rising and Brian he checked every box on that Attitude Era. Those kind of guys. So creating a real anti-Attitude Era person, I think had a ton of legs.
What about, the RTC? Do you think that could have worked? Could you have been the leader of the RTC? I could see you just loving that heat.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, here I come as we talk down, I was headed in that and the whole puppies deal. And then I don't ever want people to show it, but that my character was, I'm going to win matches this way. And that's how I'm going to end up being victorious. I didn't really give two shits about, the character Deborah or my partners. I was kind of an island unto myself until I started teaming with Owen. Right to Censor. I think I could have fit in that, but I think in that specific angle or story or character, this is just me putting my creative hat on, Conrad, and we'll move on from this. You can box yourself in a corner on that. I just think you can you could have boxed yourself in a corner with no outlet.
I love watching you in this era because on some level, we were just putting over at the start of the show how great Billy Gunn and Kane looked. I mean, I would argue that you're in as good a shape now as you were back then. I mean, I know you're putting in the hard work and you may say differently, but as a viewer watching from the outside looking in, physically, I don't see a difference in you except, your haircut's different.
Isn't that crazy?
It is.
Quit drinking, work out a little heavier, a little different. Yeah, there you go.
Let's talk about your merch because you came to the ring wearing the "Don't Piss Me Off" shirt. And of course the words are in the shape of a guitar. In that era, are you coming up with ideas? Are they bringing you ideas? Do you get a chance to give feedback, or do they just say, here's your new merch, wear it to the ring?
No, there's a collaborative. The thing that, I mean, Conrad, and as you probably know my career just because of the podcast as well or better than anybody, just the whole narration that's talking about it. The "Don't Piss Me Off" came out of the gate, a few vignettes. I know backstage, culturally, it kind of fit. And then all of a sudden, the legit censors said, oh, no, you can't use PISS on camera. You're going to have to back off that. And then the action figure that layered in. So the whole kind of stutter start of my merch with this character never really got ironed out. Of course, by the end of, 5 months after this, I leave and go to WCW. So, as I was coming out of it, but, and we've talked about it, the Aztec Indian and then the haircut and the SummerSlam before this. And so just kind of, to start this run in 97 is when I went out and cut the promo and went from a red hot promo to serious issues. And, took me a while to get back my sea legs and ground. So the evolution of this character never really got to fully head down that monetization of the character. But on the flip side, Conrad, at its very core, I'm a heel, and I don't think heels really sell a lot of merch, so to speak.
Who came up with the JJ logo that we saw on your trunks and your knees there? Do you recall?
Me.
Okay, that's cool.
Oh, right here. Yeah.
Yeah.
The chase on the sides. Yeah.
We got some comments from Dave Meltzer about that Brisco Patterson. He says this scene was a total riot. He's talking about Patterson and Brisco coming out to Hogan's music and cupping their ear and all that. He says this was the best thing on Raw in months. They just mocked Hogan. Brisco at 52 is really bad in the ring, but Patterson at 61, no matter how sleazy he may be in real life, will be one of the best workers in the business 5 years after he's dead. Rodney didn't want to take Patterson dropping his crotch on the top rope. Anyway, Brisco used the figure 4-on-1. Patterson put the Boston Crab on the untalented one. I know, both have no talent. They played Hogan's music and Patterson took off his shirt and began posing. This was a riot. And JR finished the segment by saying, and fellas, he's single. I mean, what a crazy moment. What a big moment for those guys. So happy for them. And now here we are, you and Val Venis doing your thing. And we got the inevitable question. Tristan wants to know, can you tell us about Val Venis back then? And have you seen how he presents himself on social media these days?
There's the strut. I want to get that in. How can I tell us a little bit? Val, a good worker. That character, I always gave him credit because in that era, we all came from different backgrounds. Just thinking of The Godfather. Yes, he came from Papa Shango, but for him to play into The Godfather, or Val to play into a porn star, or all, different guys kind of playing different roles as when he went into, Val made that character his own, and was very successful. I think being the porn star, it put a ceiling on him. But I think he got as high as you could possibly get. Have you seen how he presents himself? No, I have not seen how he presents himself on social media. So no.
He's polarizing on social media, to say the least, these days.
Political.
Oh yeah. Big time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's that, and that some people choose to go down that political route. I don't know if you saw over the weekend, but the Seinfeld graduation, and there's a couple of different graduations that I'll just leave with this. I'm not going to get into it. Nowadays, everything is politicized. And I don't know how as a society we really got here. I'm not saying one side or the other. It's just everything's politicized. Once the world kind of subsides from that and we all kind of go back to business, hopefully. And it just, I'll leave that at that.